Right, folks, you've got the pleasure of me in the box for this match. Mr. Michael Hill, for those who don't know. So Lee's just broke off. So it looks like he's elected to play the yellows. Tough match to call, I think. The betting was Lee Clough 4-7 and Karl 5-4, which is probably fair. Lee being favourite. They did play in the flyer last night, and Karl edged it 6-5, which I'm not sure will have too much of bearing from Lee's point of view, but would maybe give Karl a little bit of confidence. Can't see too much issue here, but being first frame, probably be a bit nervous and just want to make sure that you settle in and get a frame on the board. The co-commentator's on his way, slacking as usual. Mr. Robert Chilton. So as expected, Lee mopped those up, and it's 1-0 to Lee Clough.
Was it, Michael?
It was, yeah.
It was 8 minutes, I gathered, so. How long? Was it quick? There we go. He's chatting.
So we've got Karl to break here, sporting his new watch. Look, somebody's doing all right for themselves. Proper dazzler, that one. He's made balls. We are playing Supreme Pool rules. If any of you have followed any of the Chinese 8-ball at any point, that's a good guide to what these rules are. They're not a million miles away. So basically you have to now pot a ball to be on that ball. But he can't play the yellow onto the red. If he's playing the yellow, he has to pot the yellow, which he has. So after the break-off shot, it's open in effect, but it's not open to the point where you can play one colour onto another. You can only pot the colour that you're playing, which is, of course, a little bit different to the traditional black ball rules, where you can play one onto another if you wanted to. And I think it's really important for Karl to get off to a good start in this match, because he is predominantly known for his American pool, and a good start is essential, I think, for confidence and to stay in the match with Lee.
This is the right shot. Spin him.
So just caught it a little bit fat, and therefore he's gone a little bit wider than intended. So he's caught the yellow. And these are the type of things that tend to happen when you play a different cue sport discipline. You hit that white that little bit different and a little bit inconsistent. So it'll be interesting to see how Karl's cue ball is today. Certainly compared to Lee's, who has got a very good cue ball.
Yeah, boys, he was potting well last night, but his cue ball was everywhere. Huh? What?
It looks like he's going to play the yellow in off the red here.
Careful, because he might block the ball.
That's a very good shot. Not the kindest of kisses, I don't think, that yellow coming back up, is it? But
I think he goes in the middle still. I think he's okay.
it would be a big bonus if the other yellow went through the reds.
It does. It's a big bounce. I have to take the other one now.
Yeah, it looked like he had a bit of a flyer there, didn't he?
Because this yellow's tight in the middle, I think you want to be straight behind it, so I think he may take the other yellow first.
Yeah, he's got a couple of options. I think he does play the yellow to top right. It's whether he wants to sort of, does he want to kind of dolly it, or does he want to go sort of twice across and play the yellow into the unnatural middle?
I think Karl will play twice across because the way he plays, but some may just drop it in. But
I think if this was halfway through the match, he'd have got down and potted the one in the top right by now. I just think he wants to play the one in the middle because it's. But you know, this is the right shot.
I think he'll play twice.
Yes, very, very, very good shot. All the time that you can pot the balls with authority, you should try and take that option rather than just trying to dolly them in. So a good reply there from Karl in the end. One each.
Middle one. Cut up there. I twitched on my seat.
Yeah, Lee thought he'd missed that last ball on yellow in the corner.
Well, I didn't watch it, but I just seen the reaction. But I know that has happened in the past here. I just think that some of the tables have got one or two hard cushions. Well, they have in the past. So that might be the case.
Any more scores?
So Lee Clough to get us underway in the third. Very solid. We could be in for a quick afternoon if the balls keep breaking like this. And not very often you say that when Lee's playing.
I say it depends if the black goes in the corner of those yellows or reds, doesn't it? If the black doesn't go in the corner, it'll definitely most likely go red, doesn't it? If the black goes in the corner, he's got options.
Yeah, I think I'd be playing the yellow in off the red in the middle personally. There's a slight danger of where the red's going to go, but
cannon the red and he's dead on the yellow in the other.
Yeah,
middle,
he could.
if need be.
Or leave it long, leave it long into the bottom right. I suppose how he feels.
I think he just, because he's a little bit thin on this red all there, if he was dead straight, I think he'd go reds all day.
I think sometimes in this situation you've got that many options, you can talk yourself out of it.
Go on then, what's he going? Yellows or reds?
I think the yellows are the balls, but
Keeps looking at that black, that's why. That black went, he was definitely going yellow.
I just feel with that first red top right, you're not 100% sure you're going to get where you want to get.
She might not be able to dig into it enough.
Yeah, it's just that. As you said, if he was straighter on it, then he'd probably get down and played it by now.
There's a case for potting the red and lung in the corner and cannon the ball out of the middle pocket. Well played.
Nice. That's confidence for you. You would suggest then that the black doesn't pass bottom right. Is that what you reckon?
Yeah, that's why I kept looking at the yellow. I think it had definitely got the yellows if that passed.
The table looks incredibly responsive,
That's
doesn't
what
it?
I played on, yes. Boys, you played Leon here last night in the flare.
Yeah, that's right.
Still could be tricky with that red by the black.
I'd be half tempted to play on it now.
Yeah, through the gap.
Through the gap, yeah.
And because now he's still going to play it, he's a tougher shot now to get on it than it was then.
Yeah, and all your eggs in one basket now. I think if he would have played the gap there,
And you don't get it, it's still their option.
yeah. And then you can sort of play for the gap again, knowing you've got the one over the middle anyway.
Is he topping this throw off too? Trying to come in. I don't think you can screw this.
Yeah, I think he missed a bit of a trick there. To be honest, I think it was the one below the black was the better choice to play on.
He's screwing it.
He's really got to play a good shot here now.
He's aiming for the yellow, isn't he? Screw back by the yellow. Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, he's been caught out a bit there, Lee.
Is he on it?
The previous shot was to play for the one he's playing now.
Should have even been tempted to run it through and play for the red in the opposite pocket. And if you're not on it, you're on the yellow, red over the middle, so you've got another chance to get on the red. The shot he played, if he didn't get on it, he's not on it.
It was the shot. It was the shot before.
Yeah.
It was.
He's overcut it.
So a chance of Karl's probably thinking he weren't going to get.
He's left a big pocket as well.
Kind of a,
Left him in his awkward one straight away.
I did sort of feel at the start. I did feel like the yellows were just slightly better. It's because you didn't have to be quite as cute.
Yeah,
I
had
thought.
loads more
I
options
thought. I thought, but after he played the first shot so well, it was like, okay. That top cushion is flying. Again, you can just sort of see that because he's not been playing loads of 8-ball, he's a little bit unsure, isn't he, of what he wants to play.
Or he could be just making sure. Surprised at this one.
I don't think there's too much trouble here.
He just has to make sure he gets low on the left yellow and he can't foul them. Oh, yes, perfect. He's had a whinge, but I think he's alright.
Yeah, and I think
So even though the new cushions, you can check them as well.
yeah, you
can't
can, yeah. There we have it.
2-1.
Bit of a steal, that one there for Karl. Interesting as well, we've played 3 frames. There's been a lot of discussion about the rules for this weekend, but 3 frames there and the rules haven't really come into play at all. You'll probably find they won't come in as much as what people think.
I think they're great rules. The best, probably best set of rules I've played. That's my first bet down.
Right, so Karl to get us underway in the 4th, leading 2-1.
Straight to
Yeah, he got away with the first one actually up the other side.
Isn't it mad when you absolutely cream them and you're going off? They always seem to just sit there. He actually potted all the balls in that corner pocket.
I think this is one of the real like crucifying parts about the game where sort of Lee had his chance there and he didn't get out. Karl sort of clears and then Karl dumps it in the top pocket and it's, you know, you'd think that Lee's going to make these and it's all forgotten again, you know. It's it's brutal mentally at times, this game.
Surprised to be red.
Well, again, for me, I think it's slightly yellows. I mean,
I can see he's mapped his route, what he's doing, but he's taking the one down the rail, then the one in the corner, and the one in the other corner, then the one in the middle, leaving that in the corner last. But if he gets wrong angles on anyone, the black's up there with the yellow, it's just, I couldn't see anything that could go wrong.
Yeah, I just felt with the yellows, I just think you play a ball, get to the bottom of the table, and I couldn't really
that's
see.
it,
Yeah.
Even if you land dead straight, you can't foul.
Well, because you got ball in hand, you could put the ball on the natural angle and get anywhere where you wanted to. Whereas playing the Reds, I mean, I still expect him to clear, but he has got to play a shot now.
Yeah, because if he plays this last ball,
He's actually got to get on the 8, hasn't he? Now.
yeah, because if he leaves the one in the middle too straight or a not perfect angle, he then can't leave a perfect angle on the last red to go on the black. It looks quite, it's not right over the pocket, that red by the middle, so he can't hit it with any pace. He's looking at it now. I'd have looked at that about before I played the first red. He's looking at it now. Was he playing it first? Who's doing what I thought he was doing? If he lands the wrong angle there, would you leave this low or thin? I think you have to leave it thin, don't you? Because you don't want to be that the other side of the red.
Unless that's an absolute hanger, that doesn't look
No, because
nice.
if he rolls it, he's on the cushion, so he's got to play it with pace to get away from the cushion, which is what we was talking about at the start. I reckon that's closer to the pocket than we think.
You fancy him to get there, but what I'm saying is he's got to play a shot.
Yeah.
The yellows, there wasn't a shot to play, I don't think. Obviously, somebody of Lee's class, you fancy him to get there, but
He can easily go off in the middle if you try.
yeah,
There's obstacles.
not get there, or get it nice enough. Back on serve. Chris Coatsworth, Cloughy is the GOAT. Well, Chris, I think in the pool world, whoever wins the last tournament's the GOAT. I've never known so many GOATs in one game. I'm sure whoever wins this tournament will be the new GOAT. There's GOATs everywhere. Oh, he's hit them well. Any cigar? Unfortunately for Lee, no. So Karl's elected the Reds, straight away come across. The one at the bottom.
He thought that was going to throw wider, didn't he?
Yeah. To touch more side spin on it. What I will say about Karl is, obviously I know him very well and we're good friends away from Paul anyway, really, but he's sort of quite natural. Do you know what I mean? What he puts his hand to, like kind of, he's not bad at darts. He's not bad at everything. He's sort of, so even though he's not been playing that much, he's still a handful for people.
He's competitive, isn't he? So
Yeah, and he's a good cues to the ball.
Is he double kissing this or playing cushion first half ball? Yeah, he's playing like that. He could have had a result there. Do you think he'll play the long one? Leave himself the red by the yellow?
Yeah.
The way he cues, I think he will do. Yeah, that's what he's doing. Is he pumping it or is he rolling it? One of your mics is so low. Is that mine?
No idea.
What's that do? Is that better? Yeah. Okay, it's me. You don't listen to my voice anyway. It's a good shot by Karl, that.
Oh,
not it.
Karl.
It's a poor effort because he had loads of room
You got to
there.
get there.
Yes, poor shot really because he had so much margin over there. No. Where's he going?
Yeah, that was sort of one of them though, because in his defence, he's seen the top rail ping like you wouldn't believe, and then the side rail.
Yeah.
And we've got the caper of this rag.
Does my boxing. Get rid of it. Yeah, if he gets on the low yellow of the three there, it opens the other two up, doesn't it? If he doesn't get there though, it's awkward.
Have to watch what we say in there. We've got the magician standing behind us. He's got his finger pointing already. What
Hold
Lee
on.
should play.
I've just looked round and I can see a clown. Where's
So
the
he's going to
magician?
play just a flicker side here, I think, for the bottom one of the
Oh.
three.
It's okay. Prefer to be a bit lower so he could just bump the yellow a little bit, couldn't he? Now he has to find the gap, doesn't he? Oh, that one went. That's handy. Everyone knows that went in there.
Right, so it's absolutely imperative he lands straight here and the one to the top pocket.
And that's just okay,
Just
I think.
about okay. Just about okay.
Absolutely perfect, that is.
Just a hair too far, and it shouldn't pose any problems. But he is a hair too far.
Yeah, he'd like to bounce off the rail or screw it back where he's in the middle. He'll pinch it a bit. There you go. He's to the one side of the pocket. Yeah, nice clean pot.
Right, so Karl to get us underway in the 6th. Still no friends with the break. Breaking off his hand that time. Obviously fed up, we keep going towards the top pockets.
Oh, what's that one there? Pressing the wrong buttons there.
Again, choices.
It depends if the red passes the yellow, doesn't it? Does he pass?
Yeah,
I'm sure he goes, does he?
I think it's
Does it?
interesting how everyone sees it. It would be yellows for me. I think the one sitting over the middle brings you on to the awkward yellow into the other middle, which then links with the bottom one. So
He's looking to plan a 3-ball plant, isn't he? The yellow must be tight by the red then.
I'm pretty sure that goes.
Play for your gap after this one, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's just basically just a case of when you pop the one in the right-hand centre that you sort of get where you want to get on the one in the left-hand centre.
I think he's playing for the gap now, isn't he, between the black and the yellow?
He could do, or he could clear all three of them and then play
Leave
the one
it
in the
till
middle.
last.
Yeah. Or just leave leave the outside one of the three if he wanted to for when he plays the bottom one. It's really just how he sees this.
Yeah,
This.
You're going to be virtually dead straight on that. You want the yellow, don't you? So you can just top it through a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that at all, because I just think if you...
It's an extra option, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think when you play the one in the bottom left in 3 shots' time, you've the world to land into because he's left the yellow as opposed to having to get to the 8 with it not going into the top right. So I wouldn't disagree with this at all. I think you just got to get there. You definitely don't really want to be short. Even long makes it a little bit sort of...
At least long, you can cannon the reds. You've got something to hold on to, but
You'd
the
love
other
to
way...
be straight.
Yeah.
He would love to be straight. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's lovely.
It's still tricky, you know. Because he can't be short because he'll be queuing, so he has to go a bit longer, which means he's a bit thinner.
I think that's why it was such a good choice to leave the yellow next to the black. It was such a good choice because you can be a bit thinner and just check it now. And you can play it at the pace where that tracer side that you're going to play is going to play nice, as opposed to throwing out wide, weighting it with pace to get up for the black.
Doesn't want to kick.
And for those watching at home, that's why you left that yellow there. Could have easily fell into the trap of potting all those yellows at the
And
top.
leaving that till last,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Very good shot selection by Lee there, in my opinion. So you've played a match this morning, Rob, yeah? You won 11-5.
Yeah, I played on this table.
You played on this. How did you find it? Did you?
Yeah, it was nice. I played on there last night against Boise as well in the flyer.
It looks good.
Nice. Cheers, mate. Yeah, it's nice.
Would you change anything at all from? Would you?
What, with the series itself?
Yeah. How's it gone for you personally?
Well, I've just struggled a little bit with my eye and stuff, and I haven't played that as much. But as a whole, in my opinion, I don't really like the rack.
Okay, so you prefer the triangle rack?
Yeah. Because I think you get more variety in finishes and frames, where this can get a little bit like, you know, I played the lad earlier and I'm 4-3 down, and really the next 5-6 frames he hasn't had a go because the balls just kept coming open. I couldn't really miss them.
I think the argument for the rack is, you know,
it's equal for everyone.
Yeah, we kind of like the idea that the balls are touching, but I agree with it. I think I would prefer the triangle purely because you get a few more clusters and you feel like there's a little bit more pool going on. Maybe that's from a selfish point of view, I suppose, rather than from a viewing point of view. But I just feel like this saga here.
Look at that there.
You know, it's like kind of. I mean, I know Lee's dumped it in the middle, and you know, as a
never
pro.
seems any balls like touching to cannon. How many balls are people cannoning out and doubling? Have you seen a double so far in this match, or a cannon the ball out? I don't think we have we? You don't really see any of it.
You really don't.
It's A to Z, like that's what I think. That's why I like I think the other rack. There's more variety in it. That's my opinion, but. And I don't think these are the best rules I've ever played. I've only played them about 3 times.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with the rules. I mean, I've played them a few times overseas in tournaments because they're not a million miles away from American 8-ball either.
No.
So I'm well accustomed to the rules. But yeah, for me, I would rack with a traditional triangle, a wooden one, so you can throw them up and get them tight enough. But I think from a spectator's point of view, it's kind of fast and furious, and everybody kind of likes what's going on, I think so.
It is, but you don't really see any shot making, which is what people like to see as well.
Unless Mellin plays.
Yeah, he's just showing off, isn't he?
If you've got Mellin's cue ball, you see some shot making. But no, you're right what you're saying. It's nice to see the sort of the cannons and how to develop balls into play. And we're not.
You're not seeing anything of it. You're just not seeing that art of the game, which that's purely down to the rack. It must be.
Yeah. A little bit of indication here as well with what Karl's done. He sort of took that one because he's not 100% sure on his cue ball. Because, truth be told, that was his last 2 balls, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Even though he could have gone this way, but I think he's really guarding against having to play a good cue ball, you know? I think that's the reason he's gone this way. This is more the potter's way as opposed to the purist way, if you like. But I guess there wasn't too much right and wrong about 5 reds over the hole.
Do you?
Easy, Tiger.
I don't think I'd have been playing that. Would you just play
Brave.
for the corner?
I think I would have done, yeah. But
Well, Karl being Karl as well, the way he plays on
yeah.
the mate, I thought he'd just play for the corner.
So
I think he's saying that now.
I think Lee got pretty much what he thought he was going to get. A little bit of the pro players hate to dump the cue ball off into the middle off the break. It's frowned upon, really, isn't it?
Here's a case for where if you're straight enough in the middle, well, go around in circles of all it.
We've got a few people on the stream.
Scores going. Yannick's doing well, even though he hasn't got his cue. It's in Brussels.
A viewer from Adelaide, by the looks of it. Right, Karl. Can you get a ball? Well, he did get one, but it kissed in off another one into the middle. They didn't actually. They weren't actually firing at all the pockets. But I'm sure he'll settle for the layout.
He'll pot this yellow in the middle and come for this one down here, then go back up. That's what I'd be doing. Whether he's into that, I don't know. Let's have a look.
Are you happy leaving the yellow on the left-hand side into the centre and
I
then
prefer
playing the
the
black
other
in the corner?
I prefer to leave
You
the
prefer
other
the other one? Okay.
I
I
prefer the other one.
It's interesting. I wouldn't go that way actually. I'd leave the one at the bottom till last, and I'd be coming over to the side rail, left-hand side rail as we look.
One, take the black in the middle.
Black
or
in the middle or the top corner.
I just think that yellow there is absolute plum, but sometimes it's what you fancy.
Well, it can be deceiving here as well, can't it? Because
Yeah, when you sat here.
we don't know how close that red is to the black.
So now what's he doing there? Because
He's okay. He's just far enough.
oh yeah, I think it is closer than it looks
Yeah.
to the black from
So
here.
you can just sort of.
Yeah. It's on the screen here. It looks like he got plenty of margin.
But he has been a fraction careless because he wants to be.
He left the wrong. He could have come another
Yeah.
foot this way on his shot.
He would love
before.
to be where he is now without having to play this
Yeah.
yellow. You know, it's like now you've got to get back to. But he should be okay. It's only really a.
This is one where you have to. Yeah.
It's only really a flick with side, isn't it? God, I'd play this as a kind of 4 o'clock on the cue ball and just let it just glide over to the side cushion.
Yeah. Like middle ball. Yeah. Kind of to the middle right. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little sort of 4 o'clock and.
Yeah, that's not tricky to the middle. He's in the middle bag.
I think he's okay. I think if he can.
He's not flicking the red though. Is he going in the
I
middle?
don't think so.
That's what he's looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's worried.
I think he's okay. I'd be more concerned about just not going in the top pocket.
I don't think he can now. No, I think he's all right.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like to go in the top pocket if
Yeah.
he's not careful. But good finish.
4 inch. 8 frames in 50 minutes.
I think it was probably was about 1/4 I think when they got on.
Rob, get Kenny to change the name on Q School. What do you mean? Change
Oh, they've got. It looks like they've got Chris Boys, by the looks of it. He looks like a Chris though, doesn't he?
Oh, has he? Let's have a look. Karl.
He's not really well known enough, is he, for him to get his
No,
his correct name right?
he's blagged his one on telly a few times, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Holy Bale.
He's even managed to get in the Moscone Cup, not even playing pool. That's how good he is at blagging.
What, is he some kind of commentator or
No
cheerleader?
idea. No
Cheerleader,
idea.
is he?
He gets to the Moscone Cup and it doesn't matter what he does.
I can't even. Karl Blues there.
Right, lead to break. Ooh.
Wow.
And knowing Karl as I do, he'll be absolutely furious that cue ball flinging around.
Yeah, I can get it.
This Chris boy's any good? I'm lost here. Where does it say Chris? I'm on Q score and it says Karl.
Right, so again, Rob, you've played a match and I've played, you know, as I said, I have played these rules a fair bit, but not on these tables. Yeah. Is this one of these scenarios where you play the yellow, the plan, but you're almost kind of half selling out because they're really tough? Or are you supposed to just play a bit of a dump shot and not really play anything? And then see what your opponent wants to play.
What you mean, like roll behind that yellow to the other yellow there? You can do.
I'd be interested to see how people are playing the rules, if you know what I mean. Because
what I think it'd be like it was years ago when the world rules come in. Everyone just, because it went from the old rules to world rules, everybody just went game all the time. But then when they started to figure out the rules, you did get certain players playing different ways. But this would be exactly the same. I think everybody would be gung-go. And then they will see tactical sides to it where they'll play different shots.
Well, I just think here, the obvious one is the plant or the one over the hole if you can get past the first yellow. But you are kind of half selling out, aren't you? Because
then you make reds better than yellows once
well,
you play that yellow.
Yeah, and they're not the type of rules where you can play a yellow and then put a yellow over a pocket to take control, because you can't really do that anymore, because you can.
That's the good thing about these rules.
You can play the loss of turn shot.
Well, yeah, you've got the loss of turn and you've got the skill shot. So it's a double whammy if you're not careful when you put a ball over the pocket.
I wouldn't play anything here.
No,
I'd just be dumping. It looks like he's playing the long red to the top though.
I know what he was trying. He was trying the long red, then he was playing the skill shot, and if it didn't work, the red's over the pocket. But
yeah.
Karl's got to be careful here because he can't play the red onto the yellow. But I think he knows the rules, doesn't he? So if he plays red onto the yellow, he doesn't pot the red. He's lost a turn.
Yeah, but it's not exactly like the reds are hangers even if he makes that though, is it?
No. This is the problem whether you go game or not, because if you pot both of them, you're worse off sometimes. He'd like that yellow in. He'd like that yellow in.
If that yellow goes in, is he reds or is he open again?
Sorry, he's still on reds anyway.
He's on reds, isn't he? Yeah, I
thought
that.
He hit the red first. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make a call here. I can't really get on board with that shot.
I don't know what he was trying to do.
I would have rather seen him, if he wanted to play reds, I'd have rather seen him play the combination top shot, top left.
Work.
And if it doesn't go, you're on the yellows and you play the yellow onto the red and lost it. No, shot is lost a turn. Yes, it's lost a turn.
That's what I said. It's.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it's awkward, because if you think you play the red onto the yellows, if it doesn't go, you're not, because you've hit the red.
You're right.
Not allowed. Yeah.
Right. But sort of here, where you're in a world of trouble and you would maybe consider doubling the red up and down and putting it over the bottom right, it's now no use to you.
No, because it just drops in.
Because you just clip off a yellow and pop the ball out of the pocket. So I think that was both players. I think should have been looking for an easier opportunity before they sell out to the other one. I think it was a blessing Lee missed the red to the top pocket, and I think Karl's fell into the trap, if I'm being honest. He's as well now playing this red, cutting it into the yellow, pushing the yellow halfway up the side rail, putting the red over the middle,
and the white over the right hand side of the table.
and bring the cue ball over the right hand side.
As long as he doesn't leave him on the yellow, they can on the other two yellows.
Yeah.
He's got another shot, hasn't he? I think he's going to be too aggressive here. He's trying to pop.
I think he might. Is he
red
just
onto the yellow now?
Or clipping off the red?
Nah, I don't think clipping off it.
Stick with me, Rob.
Yeah, it's a good
Make
shot.
a player out of you.
It's a good shot.
It was a very good shot.
That's why I think the rules are great. Like you think like there he's dead, isn't he? Really, he's a massive second favourite before that shot, and now he's like, oh, it's 50-50.
I just think there's a real skill to the thinking side of the game again, but where it's so aggressive and so positive. So your great thinkers can really express how good they are at the game and the knowledge, but without it being making a cluster of 5 balls up the corner to do it. I
without
think
slowing it down.
Absolutely. He's just chipping off the outside one of the two here. Pretty much all he had. And he's played a good shot. He has played a good shot. I love the idea that even if you total snooker, that you've got to hit a rail. It's good, like kind of just dropping in behind it or something. Or
I did earlier and I forgot. Nice shot here. If he clips the red off ball, the white goes to the left hand side of the table. He's really safe. See how he hits it. Not quite. Went to it a little bit thinner.
A touch fatter than what he would have liked, but it's not too bad. But he's, I think he's left Lee the double and the natural cue ball to come back round on his hard yellow here.
He's got to be careful, because if he misses it, he leaves Karl the red off the yellow in the middle to cannon the red away. Got to be careful, man.
It's
so hard.
Well, you've got so many options,
because you're thinking.
I just feel like, if you'd have gave him this position 2 shots ago, he'd just snapped my hand off. So he's got to play that yellow regardless. So he's either playing.
Yeah, whether he plays for the double or not.
Yeah, or he just plays to just bump it and leave the cue ball on the top cushion. Either way.
I think not a bad shot. He's the white in the jaws. If he can get there.
He's having a stab at this, by the looks of it.
Let's see. He's played that ball.
He's overcooked it. Has he got the double again?
He's played that very well. He's overrun that by about 2 feet, hasn't he?
I don't think he's got the double in the middle. He might have the double into the top right, which isn't an easy shot, of course. He's not forced to go, though. I mean, Karl's still got work to do with this red down here.
I think I'll be playing the cross double. You can bring the white down the bottom end of the table, so it's awkward anyway. Does it go? He's looking at the cross double. No, I don't think he goes across the bottom.
Does it double top right? Can you see on the actual tab? It's hard to see on the monitor.
Oh, that is really, really tight. But if he hits it with pace, he's not going in because it'll square up. He has to roll it if he thinks he can double it.
Yeah, or he could play it with screw and left hand side, so that when the yellow hits, it kicks wide. So use the side spin to get the object ball to kick wider. I think is he playing with the other side to try and bend it to play the...
Well, I've just seen a shot here. He could actually glance off that yellow onto the red and bring the white behind these 2 yellows. See, this is what I didn't like, because he leaves in the red off the yellow to cannon the red out. That's what I didn't like the first time he played the double. He's got a free shot now. And that red, when he comes out, helps him to get on the awkward red by the yellows.
Yeah, he's got to catch the red sort of like quarter, sort of half ballish kind of, to make sure it...
There you go. See, it was always hitting the other yellow onto it if he didn't hit it direct.
Good call, Robert.
Is he straight on this red though at the top? be able to get on that red on the side rail, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he'd like to play obviously top right and top right again, wouldn't he? If he can't, he may have to play that last on the side rail.
Yeah.
It's tricky to. Now he's punching, so he thinks he can get there.
Yeah, he's played that well.
Yeah, he's.
This shot, you want to be
Yeah,
just off
if
straight,
anything, there he's played it too well, because I'd prefer to be maybe a ball shorter, so I could just float
it in there. He's got to punch it a
He's
bit.
got it a little bit. He's got to be a bit careful that he doesn't get hold of this.
That is
nice enough.
Yeah, I'd like to be a little bit further, so virtually straight and just spinning with a bit of side. Like
rather play spin it round two cushions, rather than playing the. Yeah, I think all the time that you can play direction instead of speed control, it's always nicer, isn't it? Because you've got so much more.
He's got to cue this nice now.
So much more option.
Because you want to be dead straight on this red in the middle. Anything other than straight, it's awkward. He's playing it running side. See how he gets on.
Yeah, nice.
Lovely.
Yeah,
lovely shot.
Beautiful. All the time that you can come into the ball like that, it's so much nicer than coming across the line.
Yeah, because you can control the pace.
Absolutely. Direction rather than speed control.
It slows the white down at the two cushion.
Yeah, nice feeling. You actually you called Lee's fight there, didn't you, by having a little dip at the double?
I didn't like it.
Because you said he was going to leave that ball in off the ball.
It's only the shot I saw later. He could have glanced off the yellow onto the red and brought the white down the table behind these two yellows. But that's like, I think that's the rules again, where you're not normally playing that shot because of the different rules.
I think it's going to be a trial and error, even for those that have played the rules elsewhere in other disciplines, because it's the equipment.
Yeah, it's a whole different
game. The equipment. When you play on the Chinese tables and there's a couple of balls on the rail, you don't even care if you leave them in open play. It's so hard to get out. Whereas here, you sort of, and then American pool, you go into the next level again where
you can put the white anywhere and
you virtually can't miss balls on the rail. So. Well, I think it's fair to say Karl's having the old mare on the break, isn't it?
Looks like he's forced to go yellows.
Again, I mean, I don't know because I haven't played yet, because my opponent didn't turn up. But I don't feel like I'm going to be playing the rules when I'm selling out. You know what I mean? This. I'm not even so sure you're supposed to be having a go at anything that's even remotely 50-50, because the penalty if you don't get out is more severe than any other rules we've ever played. Than we've ever played.
It's good, like going back to old EPA rules.
So,
where if you miss your last ball or last two balls, you're virtually dead.
Yeah.
Because of that loss of turn shot, you just pop the ball. This is all eggs in one basket.
That's a great shot. Lovely cueing.
Just cue the ball nicely.
I do like that about Lee's game, though. He's got a solid technique, hasn't he? And he's
people say he's slow. Yeah, he is, but he's very aggressive with it. Like, he makes sure, but he's not a boring player. As in the way he plays.
No, he's actually aggressive. Yeah,
he's actually aggressive. He takes his time doing it.
Reminds me a little bit of. Do you remember the Ian Hubbard?
Yeah, I do.
From Kent. He played it like a methodical style, but he was very attacking and very aggressive.
But if people do it slowly, it doesn't look as. Careful here. Look, you look at the red, you think, they're there, but
well, you'd think he's going to be. You think he's going to be leaving the one in the middle to get to the other one in the middle. Is that how you read it? So right hand middle.
Yeah, but what's your ball after that, then?
What is that last?
This is a lot more awkward than it looks.
Do you play red bottom right, red next to the yellow into the middle, the one he's nearest to now, middle and stun across? Or are you...
Now people looking at this now and think, there's nothing in the way. This is awkward.
Oh, this is awkward, yeah.
But look, it's hard to tell.
I would...
There's even a case for getting on the red by the yellow next.
Yeah, I've just had a look though on the actual table itself. It's not as accessible as it looks. Into the middle, unless you're suggesting coming around for the same pocket. Ooh, he's got hold of it. Yeah, I agree with it, because I do think that even though it looks strange, I think
he's playing to cannon the black, you know, a little bit. Is he trying it or not? It's a bit weird the way he's played that last one. There's not, if he leaves himself short. Sorry, high.
It's the way that I personally would have gone, to be honest. I would have, even though it looks awkward.
Yeah, so I mean,
I think the one on the left, the red on the left-hand side, is the last ball to stun across for the 8.
Because you couldn't get from that red up there to really anything else.
Not really. Yeah, I couldn't really see any other way. But I think if he was going to go this way, I think when he played the one in the bottom left, he should have played to get where he is now.
Yeah, the free shots did. That's what I said. That's what I thought he was
Do you
playing
know
for
what I
that
mean?
one. Yeah. And then it's easier to get to that red in the middle to go up.
But I think in his defence, when he played the one in the bottom left, he got hold of the cue ball a touch more than he wanted and left himself a bit deep.
See, so as I said, if he's too wise, because the yellow's there, he's awkward now.
Right, so yeah, he's left himself a little bit tricky here. Can he see enough of the cue ball to draw it back off the side rail? Back over?
I think it's one of them where he's in the in-between angles. If he pots it to the one side of the pocket, he can pinch it a bit. I think he can.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm not so sure about
What's he spotted here?
Well,
What you got up your sleeve here, Lee?
this might sound crazy, but he may end up having to pot this red off the yellow, you know? Because how's he...
Top the cue ball through?
Yeah, well, to me, if he pots this red in the middle, natural angle is cannon the yellow over the pocket, isn't it? And that's not leaving it, or is it?
He's playing it in off the yellow by the looks of it.
And topping it through.
Topping through.
It's a tough shot, to be fair.
Yeah, there was nothing easy about that, was there?
As I said, when he started off on the finish, it looked easy. It was a lot trickier than it looked because the balls were.
Big frame this now, to be fair, because obviously Karl's got his chance to go 6-4. I think these situations are all about how you're feeling as well, because sometimes you're desperate to get down here and knock the black off, and sometimes you're thinking, well, I don't care, I'll just play on it and just pot it anyway. I think it's really kind of, are you that little bit nervous? Do you feel tense on your cue? Do you even feel like you're cueing the ball? Do you know what I mean? You sort of...
I think that's the trouble when it's your first match.
You'd,
yeah, a bit.
It's one of them where you're sort of supposed to just play on it and just pot it, but there'd be many a player that would come down and try and move it off this yellow.
It's one of them. I think I probably would have, because if you don't get the angle anyway, you're left with the same shot. This is where Karl, like, throwing the angles, throwing off cushions, he thinks he's going to throw a different way all the time.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got the world to land into there, in all truth. I mean, it's...
I think it was one of them where he saw all the balls and thought, I'll just pot it. It doesn't matter where I land, I'll be on something. He's probably landed the worst place. See, this is where people play, you know.
Well, it's
a lot of the black ball players wouldn't have played that shot, they just cut the yellow in.
It's a fluke, but it's not a fluke really, because
he's in the same place.
He's in the air pretty much, unless he chooses to play the long yellow, which.
Although the snooker will be, I think, a bit more difficult.
He might choose to play the long yellow.
Oh, he is, yeah. Surprised at this. He's missed it. Oh,
nice pot. And a good cue ball as well if he had missed it.
That's probably what made his mind on it. I think he thought he'd missed it though.
He's just got to be a bit careful here, because you want the black sort of a give me, don't you? You don't sort of want to be...
You want to be just by the middle pocket, don't you?
Yeah, you do, yeah.
So what's he doing? He's leaving the one in the middle to the last, just stun across?
Yeah, I think so. I think he can play the one top right and come out a bit and sort of try and leave just the natural to roll right close to your work, or
stun off the
just
side
to stun
rail.
off the side rail and kind of... Obviously he does cue but does pot the balls well, doesn't he, Karl? So
these are tricky shots. I know it looks dead simple, but someone who's not used to the cue ball, you could get into it too much.
I think the way I've been feeling, I think I'd have been trying to desperately get down here to knock the black off. Oh, here we go. This is different.
He's trying to leave himself just off straight, which is perfect. Perfect.
This is different. Might have to pull him up on this shot selection later on in the day.
He's played that well.
Very nice. Yeah, very nice.
Going to a bit more than I thought.
But yeah, you're desperately trying to get close to your work to make it a gimme, aren't you?
Yeah. 6-4.
Good finish in the end. folks, we're back in the game. Just had a mini break there. Lead to break in the 11th.
What's that? Oh, that's it. I haven't got a clue how this system works. Big break.
Lee's turn to crunch them and not get anything.
If Boys is on, yeah. Well, it's fair to say he can't be yellows, he can only be reds. Does that red go? First go, is he on it? No, he's not.
We have rack chaos in the
Yeah, I
11th.
think the referee's marked the ball and put the marker on the rack. Has he?
Well, considering who we've got in the chat room, Rob, I've never known him so quiet.
I know, yeah. To be fair, it is a Friday morning, or Friday lunchtime. Tonight they'll have the lager down and they'll be talking more time. Yep, that's about perfect. I think he just pinched in there with check side now, can't he? Bounced off the top rail. Yep, played it nice.
It's been a strange sort of game because the good's been good, and
Yeah.
the odd little careless error is probably what you wouldn't associate.
Yeah, this is the key shot. I think if he gets perfect on this, then he will win the frame in this visit. If he lands short, then it could be awkward because he just wants to screw it back, doesn't he? He wants to pot this to land dead straight, screw back past the blue spot, and just roll them in. If he doesn't get this one right, this is when it gets a little bit awkward. I think Karl's played solid.
Well, depending how straight he is on this, I mean, there's nothing to suggest he can't take the one next to the black last.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, pot this one now in the corner, screw back past the blue spot, and just roll it in. Roll the one in the middle and roll the one in last in the corner. He's actually, I think he's perfect, isn't he? He's not it. Is he okay?
He's
Just
okay.
okay.
Just okay.
He wanted to be another 6 inches and he couldn't fail, but
I think you can just
pot it the other side of the bag.
Sure, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, he's fine. Land dead straight on this now for the black in the middle.
A bit of a disaster for Lee because he's obviously had the break. He just want to come out and make a ball and get back in. He's had a dry break.
He's got to be careful.
Oh,
That's a poor shot. That is. That is a really poor shot because now he's got to. Has he got to check this now to hold the black? Is he okay?
It's just a natural.
Is it?
Just a natural round two.
I don't know why he played it so slow. I know he's worried about going too far, but he could have gone another foot there.
He's fine. Yeah, it's
Just floated to the side.
It's in round the two, yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely not playing that shot though with enough side spin.
No, he's not. He's coming
It's been
straight.
narrow. It's been narrow
Yeah, he
every
has,
time
yeah.
he's played it.
He has, yeah. He's not swinging it round the angles, is he?
That's 3 or 4 times he's played that shot now,
Yeah.
and he's gone narrow.
I think it's because the cue ball's obviously a lot smaller as well. He's not aiming. You need to aim more extreme. I think with a 9 ball, I don't think you have to aim as wide.
I think because he knows he throws wide. I think he's gone careful on to the degree where he's
gone
narrow.
allowed
now.
too much. Yeah. up against it now.
Yannick and Jeremy Graham, 5 each. I know Yannick's had a bit of bad luck. His queue hasn't arrived. It's stuck in Brussels, so I believe. So he's borrowing Lee Kendall's queue. Declan Brennan, he's beating Michael Steele 9-0. Good player, that lad is. I've only seen little bits of him.
Yeah, he's very good.
But I really like his game. He's going places, that lad. Yeah, they've had an absolute mare with a break in this match. All right then, Robert. Reds or yellows?
Oh, I definitely like the Reds.
I'd be more keen on the Reds if he could play the one that he's nearest to.
Yeah, but I think he can get the white on the blue spot. If he gets on the blue spot, he can cut the red in the middle and cannon the yellow.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
He wouldn't play the one that he's nearest to?
If he, yeah, I think he's tricky first go. I would do if he was straight on it.
I feel like the one he's nearest to is the ball.
It's hard to see from how difficult it is, but if the white was another ½ inch to the right, he's dead straight, then I'd definitely play. But because he's off a little bit straight, that's why he's wary of it.
The rules just don't allow you just to pot a ball and then just take
Cover
a
up,
pocket
yeah.
or something,
No.
do they? They don't actually allow it. It's either like it's all or nothing. But still in a skilled, controlled way, really.
The thing is, what happens if he pots the red now first go? He misses the next shot. The yellows become massive favourites, and vice versa. If you pot a yellow first, there,
absolutely, yeah.
that's what happens.
There's no taking a pocket and taking control.
Automatically, the other set becomes favourite.
Right. For me, whether he makes this or he misses it, I think it's the right shot. I think it's the right shot.
He's stunning into the yellow.
Just a little nip into the yellow.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
He said you wasn't a fan.
No. I'm looking, that red does go at the top anyway. Don't think he needs to get it in there, see? The red ball, the yellow, what balls you just looked at.
Yeah, that's why I felt like playing the one in the middle was the black.
Yeah. I think he's playing the cannon, isn't he? Yep. Because he's got the red out of the middle pocket. He can play the cannon onto the red now. And if he gets the cannon right, then it's definitely 8-4. Yep. Yeah, he can rest on the yellow on the side rail, then play the red in the corner, red middle, red top, red, yeah, I think he's fine. inches there now, hadn't he?
Surely for all the world he's not topping into that yellow, is he?
I think he is.
Is he? He's a braver man than me. Oh,
Yeah, the problem with that shot, the harder he hit it, the wider it would
absolutely,
go.
absolutely.
So you can only really...
He's okay. He can just dink round the yellow, but
Yeah. I think he tried to
you know
pot
what? I couldn't have played that shot for all the tea in China.
No. He's tried to pot it thin and he's potted it thicker than he wanted to.
But he was just okay.
What was he done there?
Wow.
That was adrenaline.
That was adrenaline when it...
That was adrenaline. He won't miss this though, he's a good QE, so... No.
Nice pot. He had a bit of a brainwave there on his last ball.
My drive.
Oh, man.
I thought he was perfect to play for in the middle, but... 8-4. Down's 9-6 now.
Well, something's drastically got to change with Lee's break. Not necessarily because he's hit them bad, but they just won't go in. Same for Karl as well, but with a 4-frame cushion.
I don't think Lee... Oh, he's moving. Oh, he's off. He's off to the cut. He's had enough.
He's seen enough of that front ball.
Yeah, he's had enough. The lad I played had a bit of joy with a cut break, but I'm not a fan.
I just feel... Having seen Lee play the cup break there, that would say to me that he wouldn't do it that often.
No, because of the way he's played it.
Yeah, he'd hit the cup break probably like I would, which
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Don't like doing it. Yeah.
Well, I'm not so clever at it. So, but I mean, like when you watch like, say, like a Boyle do it, or
Yeah.
I've seen Clint do it before. They're hitting that probably twice as hard,
Yeah.
which takes some doing.
I think you should just moved it in between the middle of the table and the cushion.
I always feel when I cut break, I'm just completely selling out, like
Yeah,
I'm playing
and
14 to 1 and just
yeah,
opening the pack to the other
and me.
person.
Yeah,
To be honest.
So unless you can hit them the pace that, as you say, Ball or someone else does, what's the point? You're not.
Oh.
Yeah.
The back arm got tight there.
Last 2 of the 3 shots, he's seen the win line, is he?
Do you have a dip, or do you or do you pull the reins in?
It's hard to see where he does play safer.
But you wouldn't necessarily mind yellows having a dip, would you?
No. What you wouldn't want to do is move any of the yellows about. You don't leave them on in the awkward yellow. Leave them on the easy
well,
one.
you could play the red into the yellow, push the yellow to the side,
rail,
rail,
yeah.
put the
And
cube
come back
up,
over here.
you know, or something along those lines.
But I think Karl's looking at it as if to say, even if I miss this long red, I'm not really leaving anything.
Yeah, I just feel like from Karl's perspective, he's obviously got Lee 8-4. He's on the ropes. Don't be like giving a cheap frame 8-5 and then 8-6 and you're in a match again.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
think he should be playing
at least
safety shot here now.
At least if Lee.
He should be topping this 3 now and then running onto the yellow. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, if Lee earns his frame, then you know, it's fair play, and it kind of thing.
I think Karl wants it to be another 2 or 3 inches further then, because if this yellow goes in the corner, Lee's got half a sniff.
Declan Brannan beat Michael Steele 11-0.
Did he? You'll enjoy that. Chris Day beats Ollie Bale.
Adam Marlowe 9-2 up on Gav Robinson.
Yeah, surprised that. Well, I'm not, because Adam can play, but Gavin was a big favourite in that match.
Right, what's he got here? What do you see?
Well, if the yellow doesn't go in the corner, the last thing he wants to do is move that yellow, doesn't he? Because it's blocking his red.
Yeah, does he even play it? What's he achieving by playing it?
Exactly. If it doesn't go,
unless he can potentially chip off it and then put the cue ball in the middle of this bottom rail, as we look. But you'd have to play a good cue ball.
even then I think you're just delaying the inevitable, the next shot.
Yeah,
Could he play the yellow onto the yellow by the red and like a soft stun shot and leave the white on top of the red? Yeah.
Yeah.
Choice where he's going to leave the white. He just leaves Karl an easy bounce off the one on the pocket to snooker him. Once he moves this yellow, because that's the yellow that he can hit.
He's lining up to fire, isn't he? The way his mannerisms are, looks like he's lining up to, unless he's looking at your shot.
Playing the yellow one, and leaving the white there.
He's having a go here.
That must go in the corner.
He's seen enough as Lee. He's having a dip.
It did go.
Oh, a good shot to get started.
A long way to go, though. Oh, I've seen a shot, you know. See, I think these rules are like wall rules. You can pot 2 or 3 balls, then play a shot where you're in a better position. If he leaves that white by the middle pocket where the yellow and red is, he could actually bump the yellow, knock the red away, and leave the white on top of the other red.
Yeah.
He could actually pot 3 or 4 balls and be better off.
Yeah.
He could actually pot this yellow in the corner now, pot the one in the middle, then roll the yellow, bump the yellow, red out the way a bit, and leave the white on top of the red. In fact, he could even top this red to the top rail, kill another red. I think it's like kind of a lot of tactics where there you go. I don't know if he's playing the shot I'm talking about, but I wouldn't pot the one in the middle if he's doing what I think.
I wondered if he was thinking he might have got an angle for the one in the right middle there to actually go up and disturb them.
I think he needs to play more shot now. Pot the one in the middle, thick.
You think that's what he was playing though?
Not sure, but I'd definitely play it now because you can't. You know, the chances of going out here now. That's why I like the rules.
Well, hold on. If you're going to play your shot, he hasn't necessarily got to pot the one in the middle, has he? He can play from where he is.
Yeah, I just think he's got it a bit thinner. I just think you got more control of it if you're closer there. I don't like where it is now. I think he pots one in the middle, drops it in, then plays the yellow down the rail, nudge the red a little bit, leave the white on top of the other red. He's gone from like second favourite to favourite. I'm not sure he's seen it.
He hasn't really got any other shot, has he?
Not now, no. I don't think he can get out from
I
here.
think it would be.
He's got to play the shot I've just said to you.
It would be very low percentage if he was going to play to
There you go.
develop
Has he
something.
seen
Or
it? No, he's not. Was he looking at doubles and all sorts?
I think he's looking. He's looking to see whether he can pot the one in the middle, avoid the red,
Bump the
and
yellow.
bump the other yellow down to the back rail.
Then he's got to land on it to land on the other one to get on the one down the rail last.
I think that's what he was looking at. The more you look at it, I think yours is the only shot you can play.
Yeah. So you play that a lot softer. Just play. What do you think he's doing now? Don't you know what he's planning? I don't like it, whatever he's doing. So you've got to be careful, even if he's looking at putting the yellow behind the red now. Karl just drops it in, doesn't he?
Even though it's not as effective as what you were saying, what about if he just stuns it into the rail now? And stuns the cue ball on top of the red? So he plays the yellow off the
Yeah, but
rail
is
into his other yellow and stops the cue ball.
Can he though? Would he pass? Can he get the yellow past the red? He won't square up with it and hit the red. I think he's missed a trick here, really. He's actually playing my shot now. Looking at it, I think. Or I think he's playing yours, Mick. Problem is, you don't gain. You know, he doesn't. The yellows are still blocked in the corner, aren't they, by that red? So you can play your shot, but what's he actually? You just gain another shot, isn't it? Good shot. But say Karl just bumps off probably this one.
He sort of
the table there.
he kind of twigged on to what you were getting at, but a little
too
bit,
late.
yeah, or
Yeah.
maybe not quite as cute. But I suppose from Lee's perspective, at least he sort of kept Karl honest.
Yeah.
You know, where because there weren't a great lot he could do from where he was.
Not sure. He's got to be careful here. That doesn't go, does it? Yellow doesn't go past the other red, does it?
Again, you got one of those scenarios where taking the top left-hand pocket with the yellow just isn't any good to you in these rules, is it? So it's a totally different way of thinking. Certainly, tactically. He may well be forced to having a bit of a crash at this.
I'm trying to look when and see a safety shot. He hasn't really got one.
He could stun off the one he's nearest to and
He's
pot
looking
the red over the top pocket.
He's looking at cutting this across the rail, you know, and nudging the red away.
Would that be good enough? Stun off the one he's nearest to and pot the red into the top pocket? Leave the cue ball there?
I like this shot. I fancy him to get this. Too thick. Yeah, there's a chance. See, that's why I liked it, because he was messing a few things up.
Yeah,
You know, he was moving that red and covering that pocket.
But it makes Karl's shot, the shot before, very very safe then, doesn't it? If that did actually go and that was actually an option. I mean, he's played it cautious, beyond cautious.
What's he looking at here? Aggressive shot.
Yeah.
I think he's played it because he thinks it's free. Because if he doesn't cannon them, he just plays a safety shot next.
He might not have landed too bad there. Well, he's come this far, there's no backing out now, is there?
No, he hasn't got a safety shot, has he, sir?
No, he's either got to back himself to pot it long if he's got the angle, or back himself to knock it in the middle.
He's looking at the double, you know? He's looking at the double. Long double. No, he's not. It's my eyesight.
You did say you got that dicky eye, didn't you?
Yeah, it works. It works sometimes.
He was only aiming about 3 foot away from the double. Maybe when it was really giving you some stick, it was 4 foot. What about this flip? About this little poke here? He's going.
It's not easy, this.
He's played the double.
Wow. He's playing the double. I wasn't about that one.
Fair play.
He's absolutely perfect as well.
How aggressive is that? Coming to the table, 5 balls against 3. Very good. Nice finish. It was 4-7, Clough 5-4 boys beforehand. And I thought that was fair enough. I did think Lee was rightly a slight favourite. Did you?
Yeah, yeah, because he's still playing, you know, Karl.
But I think Karl's played well.
See, what it's strange because Karl to me has played like I'd expect Lee to play.
Yeah.
He's played very sensible, like, and I think before he started playing 9-ball, he was a bit more reckless. But I think with a 9-ball, it slowed him down. He's more methodical with it. He's more calm.
I think he completely understands the match play side of things
Yeah,
more since playing that.
He was a very good player at 8-ball before, but he wasn't like, you know. He set the world on fire, but he was a very good player.
It's been,
but he seems like
the break's been incredible for both of them. In all truth, it's been one of those where neither one or the other could say, oh, well, I didn't make a ball off the break or anything,
Nah,
because
so
it's
about
been,
the same as each other, yeah.
and it's not that they've been hitting them bad. Well, I don't think there's any prizes for what he's playing here.
Yeah, I think he's playing the plant,
Yeah.
which you can't miss. Oh, he's played that terrible.
Ooh,
He's actually hit the wrong side of the red, hasn't he? I thought you could hit that full in the face. You won't be happy with that. He's playing the cut up the rail.
Yes, it's been one of those matches for Lee, and when he didn't quite get out at 4 each, when he tried to play the ball and off the board, it's all sort of gone that little bit wrong for him since then, hasn't it? It's like the pool gods have sort of kicked him, which can happen. It happens to all of us. That's the game can be so easy, but yet so hard at times. I think it's quite a tricky shot to chip off the one on the side rail and get really good. I think,
especially on new cloth and that, because he could just die or he could.
I don't know if I'd be just as well just stunning off the one he's nearest to, just to be that little bit more safer. That makes sense. You're gonna leave something anyway of some sort. Yeah, he wants it where he's pointing now. It's so much easier with the ball that he's nearest to.
Yeah, but obviously he's sending the red up there, isn't he? In fact, I don't even like it. I don't think he could leave it that safe. You might as well go for the cut up the rail with a red. He's not. I don't. He plays the yellow off the red now, doesn't he, in the middle?
Is it far enough forward to play that?
I think so.
Well, if it doesn't, he pushes the red onto the side cushion anyway, which is going to make it difficult.
That's why I didn't like the shot, because he's not game.
I don't know what he had though. Was you just thinking we'll just have a go and just it is what it is?
I'd have gone for the cut at the red at the rail. And if you don't get the cut, you may block the yellow or go in front of it. But I think here he was leaving him a free go. That's a poor shot. Oh, has he played? Has he played 2-in-1? I'm not sure what he's played.
Well, you'd have to suggest the way his body language, he's actually
there,
played the white across there. But does Lee not just tuck him in?
Yeah, I don't know why. I prefer the soft shot, just played soft and put the red on the side rail.
Even that was a little bit unlike Lee, weren't it? You know,
Yeah.
he only gets it kind of really stuck there, doesn't he? It's he was obviously.
Bloody hell, he's nearly putted it.
Hello.
He wants an easy black, doesn't he? I don't think that those reds don't go in the middle, do they?
He's left Lee half a stab at these, isn't he?
Does the red go long then, does it? You know, if he pots it long as well, he then plays the red off the yellow next shot and opens that pocket up. He's actually left Lee
He's half a sniff.
as good as he could have left
He's
him.
half a sniff.
He plays the long one now at the top, then he plays the next one, he's the red off the yellow and opens the pocket. I don't know if it goes though.
Easy from here, Rob, isn't it?
It was simple here, mate.
I've never missed a ball from
No,
here.
no, no. No chance of missing from here. Oh, Andy Cross has turned up again. It's an old face.
Can't miss from the commentary box.
No. Mr. Appleton's just won. So the 2 o'clock matches have gone on early. Well, it's a tough shot to be fair if you only had half the pocket.
Gavin Simpson at Behave, Mick. Well, it's true, I've never missed a ball from here.
No?
I'm missing 1 or 2 out there, though. Save your money, folks.
Rob, get Kenny to change his name on Q School. See, I don't get that. Karl. eggs in one basket there.
I think this is pretty much the match right here, isn't it? If Karl can manage to get out.
You play the thin one first and leave the plant. Can't foul, can you, where the plant is?
Yeah.
I like the other way.
I do.
Because the white's coming naturally back. Yeah, I don't like this. There you go. I just like the other way, the plant, because the white was staying in the place where you wanted it to stay. It's on a string here. It's a long string, but it's a string. She's screwing back off the side rail. Nope, he's not got that.
He's left himself a little bit of a
Well, he couldn't make,
fiddly little shot here.
couldn't have left it any more difficult, could he? Really
It's
was.
a fiddly little shot.
You should decelerate on this.
Decelerate,
Yeah.
or you can accelerate too much. Little bit sticky. Obviously, he's such a good potter that you fancy
Yeah.
him to make it, but
I think he's happy. She doesn't have to do anything with the white.
yeah,
Good job he can pot, isn't it?
this is a good job he can pot.
This is as good as over.
$10-4, and in a crazy game at times it's 4 each, and
Yeah.
you know, I think it was Lee even 4-2. What was he at once? But I mean, it's 4 each. He didn't quite get where he wanted to be. Landed slightly hampered over the black, and then pretty much from Lee's point of view, he hasn't been able to do anything right.
No, can definitely go wrong quick.
It's sort of like 10-4, but you could almost be saying, well, 7 each or 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a crazy game. And Lee must be thinking, at last. Shame that didn't come about half an hour earlier is probably what he's thinking.
Yep.
Particularly 6-4 at the interval for 6-5.
It's probably the messiest break for a while as well. this one. Karl's playing the plant. Is he forgot? Oh no, playing safe.
Right, question for you here, Rob, because
Just what's that?
you practice more than me. It says, gents, would you say this cloth is as quick as a Hainsworth match cloth?
It was tight. I was looking at that then. I wasn't quite sure whether the yellow hit the top cushion. Yeah, Karl's question. I wasn't sure whether he's actually he played the red onto the yellow, and the yellow at the top of the table. I was not sure whether it hit the cushion, but I couldn't really tell.
Rob Ward.
Yeah, it didn't. They're saying he didn't make it. I couldn't tell. But okay.
We've just got a
There's some people in line with the yellow, and
slight debate going on whether Lee struck a rail or not.
Yeah, Lee's just checking. I couldn't see. The
Rob
cloth.
Ward.
Yeah, sorry, the cloth.
If it's the Rob Ward I'm thinking of, hiya mate, how you doing? This cloth looks nice, the balls stand out. Can't beat the green now, I have to agree with you, to be honest. I'm a bit of a traditionalist when it comes to the cloth, and I prefer the green as well, if I'm being honest with you.
I prefer the look of the green. In regards to the cloth, we've had some cloth on the table down the club, and I don't know what it is. But it definitely plays a little bit more responsive than this. But this is beautiful cloth to play on. But it's not the fastest and most responsive I've played on. I don't actually know which one this is. It didn't make it. Yeah, fair play to Lee. Someone was watching, so he didn't touch. I couldn't see from here.
Oh, Kevin Butler. Just look back and he did not make it.
Okay. So So yeah, at least little. Yeah, okay, that confirms it, and that's good. Would like to. So ball in hand for Karl.
Yeah, and it makes the world a difference, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
Even though you've only got the one instead of the bump and go, I suppose it's.
Trying to screw back into the black. He is.
Wow, super shot.
Played it well.
Super shot. Definitely a 10-4 up shot, shall we say? But nonetheless, it was a good shot.
Would you try and go on the yellow on the back round, or would you just leave it till last?
Personally,
I'd actually leave it till last, because even if you land thin on it, you've got the red to cannon into to hold the white. Because if you try and get on it now, you land dead straight. You're in no man's land.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be leaving it last. But everyone's always tempted to get on it. I think Karl's, looking at possibly what I'm thinking.
Kevin says hello. Hi, mate. How you doing?
Which Kevin? Kevin, but Kev Jordanson.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to say that from Lee's perspective, he probably feels like he's had a nightmare. But I suppose Karl's been steady enough. You can only really do what you can do.
He's done to Lee what probably a lot of people thought he did to Karl.
Yeah.
In honesty, the way the game's gone. He wanted to be a little bit the other side of this yellow.
Yeah, well, that was the only thing when you were saying, like, oh, play the yellow last night. I did understand.
I'd have got rid of it a different way, though. I'd have left a different yellow to get on the top. I think I wouldn't have left that one in the middle of the table.
Well, that's what the bit that I didn't.
I wouldn't have left that. I'd have got rid of that straight away.
Because I think you were right in what you're saying. Leave the one at the top. There was no need, but
he's got a free shot again now, because if you screw back and aim for the middle, and if you're too far, you cut the one.
Wow.
I literally cannot believe he's played it that way.
It was almost very good though, wasn't it? Do you know he's actually got a shot here. He can screw it into the middle with reverse run inside into the left-hand rail as we look, and actually spin it round the table.
He's checking it.
He ain't going to get there. He's actually got to go. He's got to play
he's
that
going
shot.
too wide?
He's got to screw into the side rail with reverse run inside.
Yeah, just past the middle back basically.
Yeah, yeah. It's 4-stroke 5 rails. This.
Yeah, definitely. That's what he's doing now.
Now he's clocked it. He's
just
clocked
past
it
the
now.
middle. Just past
Don't
the
hit it
middle
too hard.
No.
Too hard. Or is it?
He's enough.
No, he's
No,
okay.
He's happy.
That's a good effort from there.
He's happy.
He played it a bit harder than what I think I'd have played it more of like a zip.
Yeah, he hasn't zipped it.
round.
He's punched it
He's
more.
punched it, yeah.
That's why I would have aimed further up the cushion, because the zipper has spun it. He got more angle.
Yeah.
It's actually unlucky. Not unlucky, but the way he's landed.
This is tough
He's
unless he goes in off the red. Yeah, I'll go with a big bag.
Game, set and match, Mr. Boys.
Yeah, and he's played well, to be fair to him. It wasn't Lee's day, but...
No, he has played well.
11-4 to
Yeah,
Karl,
played well.
boys.
Yeah, played well.
Right, cheers, everybody.
Yep, see you
We
later.
shall catch you later.
Yeah, but he said he didn't even say he was in line with it. He said I didn't think it hit, but the other lad was in line with it and said it didn't hit. But I'm not convinced you should really take it off people watching. I wouldn't. Yeah. If you're not sure and I'm not sure, it's 8 balls. I'm not giving you a foul line. Yeah. To be honest with you, it's irrelevant. Yeah. Yeah, I quit on the shot. I didn't want to stun it back. I wanted to leave it behind the ball, and I quit on it and gone into it. But to be honest, I just felt the last few frames I just fell apart.